Hey guys, welcome to the trade recap for the week. This is a great one this week. I've got some tips and tricks in here, trade management ideas, concepts for you. This is going to be great. It should really help you. Let's jump right in. First, I want to talk about where we are in the market. We know that, this is the ES. We got a Fed meeting this week. We still got a lot of big earnings, so anything can happen. This market is starting to look very weak. It could go either way with the Fed. Now there's a greater chance of a Fed rate hike. We'll know in a couple of days, but that's the ES. Same thing with the NASDAQ, but the NASDAQ is even weaker because we've got all the semiconductors rolling over and money's going out into other sectors, right? So NASDAQ's coming down. So what we did, the original trade, I set up a hedge. I'm always thinking about hedging, managing risk in a portfolio. You've got to do that, right? So on, let's see, it was on, I think remember the exact date. It was right here. I set up a trade. I did this in the main room. I posted it. Everybody got this trade. And I wanted to give us a little downside protection in the event we went down, right? This had started looking pretty sketchy. So instead of using the SPX, I switched over to the XSP, which is the mini SPX. Right. The good thing about this, it's still European style. You can't get early assignment and all that stuff. That's one of the reasons I wanted to do it. But again, we entered, I believe it was right here for a pullback down here. Now, the original trade, this is the tip and the trick, the cool thing, the trade management part. Let me show you the trade here. Right here. So I set this trade up and I did a put debit spread. Now, this is pretty cool, bear with me. So a put debit spread looks like that, right? And I use 735, 730 puts as the base for my trade, right? And that is 735, 730 right there. And I'll drag this over a little bit here. I want you to get the context of what we're doing. So again, we were right here thinking we were going to come back down to this kind of area here. That was my zone, right? And I set that up for 17 July at the time to give it plenty of time to work. And it's very low, low risk and all that kind of stuff. Here is the first tip and trick. If you're using TOS, thinkorswim, or Charles Schwab now, if you're using TOS and you're trying to keep up with your P&L, which you have to know your P&L, right? You have to know what you've got in the trade. Notice this says not traded because we're past 17 July. Those have expired. It was getting close, and I did not think that trade was going to work. So I closed the entire trade and I picked it up and I moved it higher, right? I went from 735 to 746. So I picked the whole thing up and moved it up here. There's 747 where we closed today, right? Right there. So I picked the trade up and move it higher to give it a better chance of working, but I also went further out in time. Two different things you can do to improve your odds of success or your probability profit on a trade, right? Always a good thing to do. Maybe I should do another video on that specifically, but that's the gist, so bear with me. So the cool thing, you see here, it says not traded. And I'm like, okay, what did I pay for that? I don't remember. Here's the trick. So if you leave don't cancel these out. Don't X this out. If you keep this, and I'm just going to duplicate it, right? So I'm going to analyze it down here, but I'm going to change this expiration to match this. This is the trade I closed today. We're going to talk about that in a second. But if you change the date here to from 17 last week to this week, 27, boom, the price already populated. It remembers that price. It's stored in there, but this expiration is already passed. So you can't type that in. It won't let you do that. So we paid $1.30 for this. Now remember I said and that's what it looked like. Remember I said I closed and rolled this thing. So this is the closing order right there. Now I'm going to do the same thing. You see the 17 July. I'm going to move that out to 27 July. And I'm going to, we got 75 cents credit for this thing. So look at this. So we paid $1.30. We closed those for 75 cents. Here's the cool thing. So if we back up, I'll walk you through the process. Notice over here, we had $520 of max risk on the trade, right? And max profit was $14.80. So basically risk $500 to make $1,500, 3 to 1. Pretty standard. That's what I like to do, right? So when we close this, we're down $220. Well, I want to continue this trade, but I want to give it more time, and I want to move it closer. I want to move it higher up. If we want a hedge to come down, we want to move the price up so we're closer to where the price is, right? So I did this. Now I added that trade on. I did 4 contracts. See, the first ones I bought were $1.30. I went out further in time and I moved them higher, and I only paid 95 cents. So notice over here, my max, see over here, my max loss was $600. So I went from 520 right there. I did add $80 of risk. So that is, in a lot of cases, you can do this for a complete wash, no extra cost. I could have done that if I would have reduced the number of contracts here from 4 to 3. Yes, it would have been less than the original cost, but I wanted to keep it. I didn't mind if you're going to lose 520 and you lose 600, it's kind of not that much. But the point is, again, to give it a real solid fighting chance, give it more time, and give it a lot closer price. So we did this, and now our max profit up here is $600. So what happens is, again, remember on the original trade, our max profit was $1,400. You're kind of on the border of, you're trying to save the trade. Basically, it's running out of time. It's not going to work. What do I do? I'm down a little bit. Let's try to make this thing work without adding a ton of money to it. That's the whole point. So we moved this one. We closed this one right there. We bought that one. It expired today. I wanted to give it, I didn't do the 24th, I did today to hold it over the weekend to give it. It's another little tip and trick. If you got one expiring, there's always weekend risk, and that could be Strait of Hormuz or somebody saying something or whatever can happen over the weekend. You could get a gap up, gap down. In this case, we got a gap up and a gap down, and it went in our favor. So we ended up closing this thing today. It ended up closing up $768. I closed it a little early and still made $500 on it. So the trade went against me for basically all of this time frame, and we lost money on the original trade. Right there, $220. I turned it around, picked it up, moved it up higher, gave it a little more time, still made $500 on it. High five. I mean, that doesn't get any better than that, right? When a trade doesn't work the way you think it's going to work, and you can still make money on it. So lots of little tips and tricks in here. Let me know. I can do a deeper dive video on this if you're not really following me. Pretty straightforward, but again, over here, we were down here at 730. I picked it up and moved it up higher to give it a better chance. If we're going to come down, it's easier to come down to here than it is to come all the way down to here, right? And if I would have kept it at the same strikes, this is today, it would not have worked. So it was a good idea to roll that thing up. So hope that helps. Hope it makes sense. Again, let me know if you don't understand that. I'll be happy to help you clarify that, whatever. If you're in the trading room, let me know. If you're seeing this on the newsletter, then you're already probably in one of the trading rooms I'm in. If not, subscribe to the newsletter. I'll put the link down there as well. And I hope this helps, make sense. Again, let me know if I can help you. I'm here to help. So let me know. Thanks for the time, guys. I appreciate it. And I'll see you at the next update in a couple of days. Thanks. Take care.